Rasheed Wesley Sulaimon, born March 9th, 1994. When researching this guy's story, a few words came to mind: unfortunate, trying, anger, disloyal, exploitation, and disappointment. It was unfortunate how Duke and Coach K exploited this player and in his time of need were disloyal in how they went on to separate themselves from this kid. It angers me to see another college basketball player used by the system that sat in his parents' living room and made straight-faced promises that turned out to be simply a ploy to attain an 18-year-old's signature. In no way am I justifying what Rasheed allegedly did to deserve this treatment, but as a kid that only knows how to be special at one thing, you need those faces from your living room to be in your corner when things get tight, especially when your innocence has been proven. But that's not the beginning nor the end to Rasheed's story. Let's take a look at 3 reasons he didn't make the NBA, unlike many of teammates that were arguably worse players than he was. Salute to Andrea Barzino for this request. Like, subscribe, and share this video, man. We're on the road to 20K. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Stunt number 1, choosing the wrong school. I tried as hard as I could to stay away from this one, but I just couldn't. It's too big of a part why he didn't make the league for a buffet of reasons. But let's focus on this one. Duke turned out to be the worst decision he's ever made, and most of it had to do with the decisions made while at Duke, more than what the program did to him. Born and raised in Houston, Texas, Rasheed was immediately drawn to the sport of basketball. His mother recounted that he always been a super competitive child that hated to lose. One that she's raised to always have an opinion and never let anyone simply tell you what's right if you don't believe in it yourself. He was a 5-star recruit by his senior season, McDonald's All-American, Jordan Brand participant, and recruited by most of major schools before deciding to join arguably the biggest program in all amateur sports. Duke is known for pushing prospects to the NBA with their prestige and relationship to the league through Coach K. In his freshman season, Sulaimon looked impressive. He scored the ball well, played hard, seemed very coachable, and was an outstanding student. The things he'd be accused of later was a shocker to me. This guy looked as clean as they came. But 2 things came into play by the end of his freshman year. One, although he had a pretty solid first year, it was obvious that Rasheed was drastically out of position for his skills and play style. At 6'4", with a slender build and not able to consistently play above the rim for a 2-guard, you could tell he would struggle at the next level. Being that size, it's important you're either a big guard that's really athletic like Dwayne Wade, or you have other skills like ball handling, court awareness, and IQ to be able to slide over to the 1 at times, or even full-time, a la Bradley Beal. Sulaimon was a flat-out put-your-head-down scorer that loved to go one-on-one and rarely made the extra pass. If he was a few inches taller, this would be okay. But he wasn't, and so he was stuck in that weird gray area they now call tweeners. The second thing that came into play and really hurt him was the fact he was still at Duke after his first year. A program like the Blue Devils reload every single season. They rarely have down years recruiting, so you better be a guy that develops every year, taking huge steps, or get it in your first and be out. Rasheed was neither, and in his second year, he saw a recruiting class that had arguably the best player entering the program in Jabari Parker. With the name and game Parker had, Sulaimon struggled to get playing time, seeing his minutes dip considerably along with his production, from 11.6 points a game in 29 minutes to 9 points a game in 25. This really hurts your stock not improving over the years, and Rasheed was its latest victim. In hindsight, he would have been better served at a smaller school where he could put up numbers from day 1. Stunt number 2, dismissed from the program. My mom always tried to teach me that in life as a man, never make the same mistake twice. Never. Being the combative, strong personality Rasheed was, maybe didn't allow this to sink in, and it hurt him possibly forever. After his sophomore year at Duke, Sulaimon had been accused of his 2nd sexual assault charge. This is a huge no-no for your brand to have this stigma placed on you, especially in the world we now live in. Guilty or not, you shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. These man, it's important these guys learn that. Matter of fact, when will whoever's guiding you teach you this? It's hard to know that at that age. I can relate. You're a star athlete, everyone thinks you're headed to millions of dollars, the baddest of the bad is gonna come at you. But listen, young guys, eyes on the prize, stay focused. Soon enough, and I mean, it could happen in just one single good season and you're off to the league where you can fuck all the hoes you want. But while you're an amateur, your number one priority is getting to the league or getting a solid degree. Rasheed was now knee-deep in hot water with the program, and after further combative behavior with the team, he was dismissed, becoming the first ever dismissed by Coach K. It's easy to look at this and say, well, his charges were never filed, he was never convicted of any wrongdoing, they should have stood by him. And you do have some room to stand on, but let's not forget that this is a program that butters its bread on being a clean-cut program that produces outstanding members of society. 2 allegations, my guy, further bad behavior, it simply cannot be tolerated. He played 20 games in his junior year, didn't start any of them, and averaged just 7 points a game. Once again seeing a dip in production along with his new sexual assault jacket. It would be damn near impossible. But wait. Stunt number 3, light at the end of the tunnel. Although Rasheed encountered the unfortunate situations he did, he still had major opportunities to achieve his goal afterwards. The first came in being able to join another storied program that was at the same level of a Duke in the Maryland Terrapins. After sitting out because of transfer rules, he stepped on the floor and looked refreshed and like maybe he still had a shot. He was the clear-cut leader on the team and given an astonishing 32 minutes a game. This was the opportunity you could only pray for in his situation. But in that time, Sulaimon only showed that even with now 5 years in college, his game was still not where it needed to be. He was very streaky. He'd have a few solid games, then follow that up with 3 or 4 terrible ones. For a 5th-year senior, this was a no-no. Although he shot the ball pretty well at 46% from the field and 42% from 3, he didn't put up elite draft pick worthy numbers at just 11 points a game once again, lower than in his freshman season. That was the nail in the coffin, right? Not yet. After going undrafted in the 2016 NBA draft, Sulaimon joined the Chicago Bulls for their 2016 NBA Summer League, but not producing enough in the little time given, the team decided not to invite him to training camp. On September 7th that year, he signed with the Charlotte Hornets but was waived on October 22nd after appearing in 4 preseason games. He would spend some time in the G League and overseas, where he's at presently. Can't say he didn't have the chances, but as we mentioned earlier, I just don't think he had the game to make the jump. Not consistently, at least. All in all, I hope you guys learn a very valuable lesson from his story. Keep your head down, man. Older men and women as well. Eyes on the prize. Whenever you're tempted, just whisper those words to yourself. Eyes on the prize. Sulaimon had it all in his hands. Maybe his hands weren't big enough to carry it past the finish line. But salute to the young guy, man. He's just 25 and looking good in France. Who knows, maybe another opportunity comes his way. Let's see what he does with it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.